Hello friends, welcome back to our little coffee club. Today we're going to be brewing the coffee I brought back from BigFace. If you guys saw the video when I went out to visit BigFace here in Miami in the design district, I recorded a video as to that experience. If you haven't seen it, comment below and I can supply you with the link. Now I recorded that a few weeks back because that video I posted out of sequence with the rest of the stuff. So if you saw that, you saw it a few weeks ago. But for me, it's only been like a couple of weeks. And today we're gonna be brewing and guessing at the tasting notes from the coffee that I brought back from BigFace. I also wanna revisit the coffee we brewed last time, the one I brought back from Kentucky. This is this coffee here, the one, I believe you pronounce the word Hinterhof, I think is how it was. It's a German word. It means the courtyard behind your house. So your backyard courtyard, I believe. So Hinterhof. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Anyway, if you guys don't know German, it will probably mean nothing to you. If you do, then excuse my butchery of the word. But yeah, today we're gonna brew that. I want to mention a couple of things. One is that Tate from Coffee Showcase reached out to me and said that he believes that the coffee from BigFace is being roasted by Black and White. Man, guys, let me pause things here for a second and do some explaining. Okay, how do I explain this? I'm trying to make sense of this whole thing and come up with some kind of explanation as to what's going on in my head. You know, by the time I recorded this, probably already like a week had passed since I had read the comment from Tate. Okay, but you know, at Vice City Bean, obviously they were working with Black and White. BigFace is working apparently with Onyx. Tate didn't tell me Black and White. He said Onyx. Okay, he was very clear. And also, he didn't tell me that the coffee was roasted by Onyx. He said that they're working with Onyx. Why I keep going back and forth and I have this confusion going on and you'll hear me going back and forth and I did not. During this whole time, I don't notice. I keep like, sometimes I say Onyx, sometimes I say Black and White. Okay, Black and White was Vice City Bean. Onyx is BigFace. And we don't know to what capacity are these shops working with these roasters. Now, the beautiful packaging, definitely that was Onyx, okay? The Black and White packaging is just kind of it was nice, but it was not that the boxes and that super high level feeling packaging that I got from Onyx, okay? So definitely that beautiful packaging was Onyx. And why this confusion in my mind? Listen, I can't explain it. I don't know, but let's just keep going. Now, being that I recently also visited Vice City Bean here in Miami, I also recorded a video as to that one. And Vice City Bean, a lot of their coffee is also being roasted by Black and White. So I guess Black and White is making a connection with a lot of the folks here in Miami. Now, that being said, I imagine that the coffee I brought back from BigFace, if it was roasted by Black and White, I already knew that to expect good things from BigFace. They are producing some very high quality coffee. So now, if it does happen to be that it is being roasted by Black and White, well, my expectations get even more elevated. And the last video you guys saw, this coffee from Hinterhof produced a spectacular pour over and even better than that espresso. I was pleasantly surprised from this coffee, and I'm still standing behind that. As a matter of fact, this morning I made a pour over on the April brewer, and I ground the coffee finer than I normally would, but being that I was on the April and it's a very fast brewer, I wanted to see what that would produce. So I ground the coffee finer than I normally would for pour over, and I still hit a 3-minute brew time. And wow, it was probably the best result that I've gotten from this coffee so far. It was just, man, this coffee has like really pleasantly surprised me. I got nothing but good things to say about this Kenyan, man. It's very, very good. And today I want to revisit that as espresso. And you know, I set the niche 0 to 1 notch below where we were last time. I believe last time we brewed it at 14. Today we're gonna go at 13 because in my experience, okay, like again, the last time I brewed it was a week ago. So in my experience, you gotta kind of make small tweaks, and usually for some reason, it's always to a finer setting. So as the coffee ages, you open the bag and and you go through it. You have to keep making little tweaks finer and finer. Normally, okay, it might not work for this coffee. We'll see what we get today. If you guys remember, I think last time it brewed like for 50 seconds. I wanted to be like a minute long brew time. So that's why one of the reasons why I went a little bit finer. I think last time we got like 25-second pre-infusion and then like another 25 seconds at 9 bars. I would like to extend that just a little bit, maybe 25 and 35, or we'll see. I mean, the results were spectacular last time, but let's see what happens. We'll see what happens today. Now, the other thing I want to mention is that Naomi also reached out and said, hey, the Good Brothers, this coffee here, the Good Brothers Cinnamon Roll, is the same beans as that DAC milky cake that you seem to love so much. So, I knew that, but I had forgotten. If she didn't mention it, I wouldn't have probably bought these beans. But I definitely want to find out, does it taste the same? By the way they're describing it here on the bag, I doubt it, because this is not at all like what I was getting from the DAC coffee. I don't know, but I'm super curious. As soon as she reminded me of that fact, I immediately ordered the beans because I can't wait to try it now and see if it compares to the DAC one. Now, I did look on the Good Brothers website, and it does seem that Brent seems to think that these are the same beans as the DAC milky cake. But when you look into the processing, the way this was processed and the way that the DAC beans were processed, they don't match up. It doesn't seem to be the same processing. They're both kind of processed coffees, not like co-ferments, but they are like some kind of fermentation. But it just doesn't match up. So maybe that's why they're tasting different. My suspicions were that with these kind of like processing, fermentation process, if you're not adding anything additional to the beans themselves, they should taste somewhat similar, okay? So, but, I'm super curious, and we'll find out. Maybe next week's show will be that. We'll talk about this coffee. I can't wait to try it. I'll open it up with you guys. So, but today we're gonna get into the coffee from BigFace, and we're gonna make espresso with this one again to see if we can reach that level of greatness once again. Man, what a spectacular start to 2025. Let's take it over to the other counter and brew some coffee. All right, so if you guys saw the video when I went out to BigFace, you already heard me talk about the beautiful packaging. I know it's just packaging, I know, and sometimes beautiful packaging creates extra waste. And, but wow, I do have to say, I'd be lying if I said that it doesn't add something to the experience. It really does. I hope that they can do this in a way that kind of makes sense, and maybe these things are recyclable and it's done in a way that it takes into account what happens with the environment. Let's just say that. But I'd be lying if I said that it's not beautiful packaging. I plan to keep the little bag and maybe use it for something else. But I try to create as little waste as possible, and I try to be conscious of our environment and not being wasteful. But at the same time, I'd be lying if I said that this did not add to the experience. You get a very premium packaging, very beautiful kind of thing that adds to your joy of the product. Okay, now that being said, here's the box. Even the box, again, I do see the resemblance to to the Onyx packaging. Okay, Onyx, when I've ordered from Onyx, you do get a box, something like this. Okay, now I know that the tasting notes are in the front. I remember when I went out to the shop and I saw them, but that was already a couple weeks ago. I don't remember what the tasting notes are. And again, I always tell you guys exactly what it is that I'm tasting. Not really at all as to like what I'm expecting or what I read or whatever. That doesn't matter to me. I tell you exactly what I'm tasting. And sometimes I identify things correctly, or at least correctly to meaning similar to what is described on the product. Sometimes I'm way off, but whatever. Always I give you my honest opinion and what I think of the product and what it is that I'm tasting. Again, the packaging from Onyx, when I've ordered from them, is something similar like this with beautiful boxes. So I could see what Tate was talking about when he told me, hey, I think these guys get their coffee from Black and White. And, I could see that. I could see where Jimmy's team and the people at BigFace are working with a competent roaster like Black and White, maybe to get things going. Maybe perhaps later on they'll do their own roasting, but at least, they're sourcing good beans and doing things right, okay? So from my experience at the shop, it was top notch. It was a great experience. On that video, I mentioned something about, that I wasn't expecting a lot because I saw it was a blend. And one of you guys left me a comment saying like, well, just because it's a blend, I mean, what's wrong with a blend? There's nothing wrong with a blend at all. But you go to a specialty coffee shop, you're expecting single origin. It's part of what makes the whole thing unique. A blend you can keep kind of consistent. And the reason why blends are created is mainly for that purpose, because you want to be consistent. So if this is a coffee that's going to be offered moving forward, always like something you can expect from BigFace, then I could totally see why making it in a blend. Because by blending different beans, you always can achieve that kind of flavor, whether you have to source them from one farm or another, or a region or another region. Okay, that's the whole point of a blend, to achieve a certain flavor and to keep it consistent through time. So single origin is going to give you a unique experience to that moment. The next time, even from the same farm, okay, even from the same trees, the next time, the next year, that experience could be somewhat different, or maybe vastly different. So, so yeah, that explains a little bit about blends. I have nothing against a blend, and I've had delicious experiences in coffee with blends. So hopefully this will be another one of those. So, but here you see it. Okay, enough talking about this whole thing. Let's get it open. Let's see the unboxing experience. So, okay, there's a little sticker there that we either have to remove or cut. Let me take a look at that. Okay, as I went to remove the little sticker, I see that, I thought I was expecting to see a roasted date on here, but there is a date on here that just says enjoyed by. So that's the same thing like a use by date, where the coffee should be somewhere where it's still very good, but we like to know when it was roasted. Okay, so this doesn't tell you. Okay, it says enjoyed by. Wow, and it's handwritten in very little tiny numbers. Wow, what in the world is this? I think it's 228. But wow, how can it be like 3 years? That can maybe I'm reading this wrong. I don't know. Let's just remove the sticker. I don't know, man. That's what I see. Let me see. Even with my glasses, but I think I need glasses to see even closer. Like I don't know. Oh, I see there's a little pull tab, maybe. Oh, come on, big face. Okay, yeah, there's a little pull tab that kind of, wow, even that's premium, right? It cuts it in half. All right, so yeah, I'm a little bit sad to see that it's not a roasted on date. It's enjoy by. So the same thing as to use it by a certain date. Okay, so let's get it open. Oh, check it out. We have liftoff. Oh man, all systems go. All right, and here's the bag. Okay, man, this is extremely premium. This is like, yeah, all right. I want to say this might be even more premium feeling than the one from Onyx, but I don't know. The Onyx one was mind blowing too. So if you guys haven't seen my, those were like, I think that's when I first started making these long format coffee videos and reviewing coffees, was the Onyx. That was way back. I mean, way back. That's around the time when Jesse left me that comment that he was really enjoying like the long length videos, and it kind of led me down this whole thing of making these long format, hour-long videos, which I thought, I don't know, man, are people gonna want to hang out with me for an hour? But I am finding a small team, a small family, a small group of folks out there that enjoy this content. So, for you guys, and because you keep me motivated by your engagement and letting me know things like Tate reached out and said, hey, I think this is by Onyx, and Naomi saying, hey, those beans for the milky cake is the same like the Good Brothers cinnamon roll. And we have these conversations and this whole thing, and it's a lot of fun. Now, somebody left me a comment today. I hope once I get to the espresso part, I don't forget to talk about it. But they were talking about like getting water from the water spout. They always seem to get like a little bit of a mess, or like, we'll talk about that. But I hope I don't forget. But if you're watching this video, man, at least, I'm thinking about you. I don't remember the person's handle on YouTube or the name. I didn't make a note of it, but I do remember the question, and I wanted to talk about it today. So we'll try to, rinse off the puck screen with the way you told me and see what happens. Think that at least I'm thinking of you, even if I forget to later on to do it, which I don't think I will, but it does happen from time to time. All right, so again, the packaging, bar none. This is like some of the nicest looking coffee packaging that you can imagine. All right, let's put the little box to the side, and the tasting notes are here, so I don't want to run the risk of seeing them, so I'm gonna put this off to the side. Okay, so how do you get this thing open? Does it have a little pull tab? No, it looks like there's something to tear. Let's see, let's try tearing it, see if it tears. Yeah, it's not gonna tear nice and clean, and I don't wanna, I'm surprised. I thought a pull tab would make more sense, keep the whole premium feeling going, but all right, we're gonna cut it. I don't wanna mess it up. I think I've mentioned to you guys that I always hold on to my packaging that I receive from all the different companies. I have it all put away. That reminds me of the one that Joan sent me from the UK, with the nice little canisters, all of that stuff. It's fun times, man. Good memories. So I keep my packaging, and then I can always look back, like if there's something about the packaging, about the box, about, maybe there's something written on there that I want to talk about because a certain coffee reminded me of another one or something like that. I could always look back. So they don't take up a lot of room. After, you're done with it, you just fold the bag and make it as small as possible. The boxes and things like that, well, that's a little bit more intricate, but so far I have room for it. As long as I have room, we'll keep that going. Okay, nice clean cut. I don't want to mess up the bag. Okay, I see that I've been rambling on for probably already, this video is probably like 20 something minutes long. Oh my God, bro. Oh boy, did I not cut deep enough? Is that what it is? Man, come on, big face. Yeah, I think I have to get below this hole. One more try. Let's see, I don't want to mess up again. And then there's a Ziploc, I can feel it. I don't want to cut that off. Okay, let's try right here. Okay, let's see if that's good. Okay, yeah, that's deep enough. So now we can open it. All right, wow. You know, just from opening it, first, the fragrance first. The fragrance, okay, I'm getting fragrance as soon as I opened it, and the coffee seems to be a lot lighter than what I was expecting. Oh man, I'm excited already. All right, let me put some beans up here, take a picture. I'll put the picture here on the screen for you guys. And yeah, so we could take a look at the roast level and then make an assessment as to how we're gonna brew this. All right, so yeah, I mean, from the picture you guys saw that, you know, the beans are like all different sizes because again, it's a blend. So that's to be expected. The coffee is very nicely roasted, like nice and even roast, and a lot lighter than what I was expecting. So wow, man, I'm excited for this one. And I gotta say, I keep going back to the, maybe I shouldn't rave about the packaging so much, but wow, it does add something, man. I gotta say, I'd be lying if, you know, the coffee from DAC, and I think they're being a lot more conscious about like, so this is like a double-edged sword because, you know, I want it to be recyclable and to, you know, to be biodegradable and all that good stuff. But man, you know, the unboxing experience with the DAC coffee was awful. It was no bueno. This is so beautiful and nice. It just adds to the whole thing, you know. You know, maybe that's why it makes me feel better to just keep the packaging and not throw it away. But yeah, you know, double-edged sword, man. I'm sorry. I'm just being, you listen, I'm always honest with you guys. I tell you exactly what I'm feeling, and you get to see everything when I mess up. Remember the time we were grinding with the Breville Smart Grinder, the Breville Smart Grinder Pro, and I was using this little cup to grind into, and it just kept spilling the grounds, and then I had keep having like an outrageous amount of retention, and it was because I wasn't catching all the grounds. You know, when I saw that, I could have cleaned it up and like covered up my mistake. I did not. I never do that. You know, you guys get to see everything the way it goes down and what happens, and man, what a total fail that was. All right, let me get all the little coffee dust and everything off of there. Everything cleaned up. Okay, so we are at 15.8. That's right. I'm gonna do just 12 grams because I'm gonna make espresso too, and so I'm gonna do 12 gram pour over. We'll get 180 grams out, so a 1 to 15, and 3 pours of 60 grams each. It's usually my way to attack a new coffee if I'm doing the small amount. And then as far as the brewer, what do we want to use? All right, today I'm gonna go with the Steadfast once again. I think, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Steadfast. I know it's slow, man, I'm gonna slow, but I'm gonna grind this coarse. I'm gonna use the Niche Duo, and I'm gonna grind it coarse. I'm gonna do grind size 60. I'll do grind size 60, and then I'll try to control the flow rate with some agitation. This coffee being this light, I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm gonna be looking for maybe, I know it's only 12 grams, but still wanna shoot for like 3 minutes. So we'll see with the Steadfast. It's kind of, you know, it's one of the ones I can control the most. But if you want to go fast, just don't go to that. You know, the way I always decide on the brewer is, you know, if I want to speed things up more or grind finer and get a faster brew, then you go to faster brewers. You know, if you want things to slow down and to be more controllable and kind of, you know, get those longer brew times, then I go to the slower brewer. So I think you can achieve the same kind of flavor probably from all of them, as long as your timing, water temperature, grind size, all these things are equal. You know, the flavor is gonna be fairly the same, at least in my opinion. Okay, so this has a good Ziploc on it. This is a super high-end, good quality bag. I can just keep these beans in here. I don't think, you know, I shouldn't even have to put it into my fellow Atmos or anything like that. Okay, whenever I put it here, it kind of covers but I want to keep the bag where you could see it, maybe up there. Let me look on the phone. All right, you know what? That's gonna have to work because I want you to be able to see the grinder Okay, I think we're good. Let me switch the focus to the grinder. We'll get the rest of this process going. All right, here we go. We'll check retention, of course, and you guys know my workflow now. I always leave the little bellows on top of here, and you'll see. Okay, so we got just 12 grams. This is gonna go by like super fast at grind size 60. Okay, so that's done. Then I open it, give it a few puffs, close it, give it another few puffs, close it, and now I can do the switch, tap the spout, and we should have the same 12 grams. Again, we even had a little bit extra, so we 12.2. We were between 12 and 12.1, now we have 12.2. So let's set things up. Let me get the step. You know, we used the steadfast last time, do I? Yeah, I ground at 60, so I'm gonna go with the steadfast. All right, let me set things up, give you both angles, and we'll start brewing. All right, so let's hope that all the angles and everything works today. Again, the space for working with the kettle is a little bit cramped, but I should be able to make it work. Okay, first we're gonna rinse and heat up the carafe and the brewer. It's funny, you know, you get used to a certain process. I make pour-overs every single morning, so doing it like this is just, it's quite a bit different. Different meaning the cameras, you know, in the way, and the tripods and all that stuff. Usually I'm just, you know, doing my thing. Okay, focus should be locked in the brewer, so that should give you guys a good look there. Let me get the hot water out and into the cup. Okay, rinses everything out good. Heats it up. Make sure everything's positioned correctly. Okay, lock my focus. Okay, I believe we are ready to go. Again, the fragrance from this coffee is very, very nice. I would say that the fragrance from the one I brought back from Kentucky, it's even better. That was like really, really great fragrance, but on the aroma, once I wet it, it was not a lot. Maybe this one will give me more on the aroma, we'll see. We're gonna check. Did we check retention? Yes, we did. We had 12.2. Okay, so just tear the scale. Again, now it's saying 12.4. That's probably because of the difference of all the different things on here. Just, it shouldn't do that, but I have noticed that that is a thing every now and then. So, all right, let's tear it. Okay, get the kettle. Again, with the Steadfast, today I'm gonna concentrate more on my pouring structure, okay? Since we're doing 180, I'm gonna do 30 gram pours, and it's gonna be 6 pours. I'll go circle and then center, circle, center, until we're done with the 6 pours and all 180 grams. Let me get the kettle. You're supposed to pour every 30 seconds, but with this little bit of water, you know, that's gonna have to be less. So maybe I'll pour like every 15 seconds. Okay, here we go with the second pour, center. Take it to 60. This time I went a little bit over. Give it a little swirl. Now everything's nice and saturated. We're gonna go circle again. Went a little bit over, I'm at 90. I think I was supposed to pour like at 45, but now there's more liquid in there, so I'm gonna pour it around 1 minute. Do another center pour. Okay. Another little bit of swirling. Just make sure everything stays nice and saturated. I'm glad it slowed down quite a bit, but that's usually the case with the steadfast once you start agitating. Okay, so I'm ready to go to 150. Okay, this time I left it just short. Okay, everything's nice and saturated, so I like the way this process is going today. I've been a lot more careful with my pouring structure. Again, I'm shooting for maybe 3 minutes is what I wanted. So at 215, I'm gonna pour my last 30 grams. Okay, here we go. Center pour. All right, I nailed it, 180.2. We are at 2.5 minutes. One last little swirl. I think we're gonna go over the 3-minute mark for sure, but we'll see where we end up. I think the last coffee, we went like way over, and the result was absolutely delicious. So we'll see today. And again, I ground that at grind size 60, so, and it's still like too fine for this coffee. Now, the lighter the coffee usually gives you more fines, and I am using the espresso burst in the duo, so that produces more fines, so this is all to be expected. But I thought at 60, I would be closer to the time that I wanted, but it's looking like I might have to go all the way to 70 maybe. Again, if I want to use the same grinder and the same process, I could go to a faster brewer. That all depends on the flavor. You know, on the other coffee, the Hinterhof, the one I brought back from Kentucky, that one, you know, grinding finer and shortening the brew time to 3 minutes, it worked out. So far, that was the best brew, and I was able to do that on the April. Okay, I'm about to call this, but you know, this went all the way to 4 minutes. I'm gonna call it at 4 minutes, just let it drip a little bit more. It's nice and dry on top now. All right, this is a 4-minute brew time. Let me take a picture of what the bed looks like, and I'll put it here on the screen for you guys, and then we'll taste it. All right, so let's give this a swirl, serve it, and see what BigFace has for us. All right, let's give it a taste. All right, my very first taste, I gotta say, I'm extremely disappointed. I don't know what happened. Like wow, wait. Man, I tell you guys, man, exactly the way it is. But I didn't get much of anything. Okay, hold on, let me try again. And on the aroma, again, I don't know if it's me, man, but I'm not getting anything from the aroma, just like the Hinterhof coffee, but that one tasted delicious. That one was like, whoa, this is great. And and you know what? And this morning on the April, again, I had to grind really fine to get a 3-minute brew time, but something like it got elevated even more. I mean, and that coffee's been great. I do have to say that Kenyan, it's been spectacular. But here, I didn't get much of anything. Nothing good, nothing bad, just not much of anything. Okay, that time I got a little bit more, but wow, just very delicate, just not a lot there. I like the balance, but there's just not a lot of anything. There's not a lot of acidity, there's not a lot of sweetness, it's right in the middle, but both of them, I wish it was a lot peakier. You guys know how I like a lot of taste. I like a lot of flavor in my coffee. This one is just very delicate. There's not, I have to brew it as espresso and see what I get, but Even at guessing at the tasting notes, you know, okay, so far I would compare it to Jay's Secret Coffee, okay, which I still don't know what it is. But okay, Jay's Secret Coffee or the one I brought back from London from Square Mile, something like this. Just not a lot there. Both of those coffees I enjoyed it the most in the AeroPress. So maybe this one tomorrow I'll brew it on the AeroPress and report back. But wow, I'm just, man, I was expecting so much. You know, the look of it was great. The fragrance of the coffee was great. Everything was going so well. And then, you know, there's just not a lot of flavor now. As it cools, it gets better and better. Actually, when it's too hot, you don't get much of anything. But this wasn't too hot. This was just perfect for drinking. Like, yes, you could let it cool down a little bit. Now it's maybe at its best. And I am getting a little bit more. Still, not a lot there. There is some like herbalness to it, like a tea-like and very delicate, not a lot of flavor. I like the balance. It's very well balanced between the sweetness and acidity. You have a little bit of each. It's just not a lot of flavor. I would say this is perfectly clean, washed coffee. So if I had to guess, and you know, I don't know, it's not a lot there. So, okay, what about, okay, the acidity? Is it fruitier or is it more citrus-like? Let me see. You know, I could say there's maybe some citrus. Could be definitely the sweeter citrus because the acidity is very, very delicate, but you could also say it's like maybe a little berry tartness. It's just hard to tell. There's just not a ton of flavor. As to your traditional notes of caramel and chocolate, you know, chocolate I wouldn't say no, none at all. There's like, no. But caramel, maybe a little hint of something. And again, you brew it as espresso or in a different method and maybe things change a whole bunch. But for right now, I'm gonna say maybe like a sweeter citrus kind of note and maybe a little bit of caramel for the sweetness, perhaps, or some kind of sweet fruit. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I mean, let's see what the box says. I have a feeling, I mean, I couldn't get a lot of anything, so we'll see. All right, here's the box. And the very first thing that it says is chocolate, which I said I'm not getting anything like that. So there you go. Man, why are you listening to me? I'm just some dude. Remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm not an engineer. What do I know? So, all right, chocolate, no, not at all. Plum, no. Okay, orange, blood orange, sweet orange flavor, not extremely high in acidity, perhaps. Okay, so I'm with you there. Juicy and balanced. Now, balanced for sure and juicy, I see. So these last three, I didn't get anything on the first two. So I didn't do that bad. I mean, when I first saw chocolate, I go, oh my God, I got this way off. But I kind of redeemed myself. Wow, okay. I'm gonna brew it eventually as espresso, and I know for sure I'm gonna make it in the AeroPress because that's how I got the best out of Jay's Secret Coffee, and that's how I got the most also from the coffee that I brought back from London. So, I'm okay. So multi-origin, okay, and then it says Omni. What is the Omni? I mean, that's like my name on there. What is that? Omni. Okay, hey, listen. I don't know. Contains smiley matter. You know something about the BigFace brand? It just kind of makes you feel good. You know, it's a feel-good brand. You know, you see the smiley face, and it's just cool. It's part of the whole thing, you know, and the visit to the coffee shop, it gave you that kind of feeling, you know, although the lines are very clean, very modern, and very sterile kind of looking kind of spot, like an Apple store. But yet, it still gives you like a warm feeling. I really liked it. I like the experience. The packaging is some of the nicest I've ever seen in any any coffee. You know, the pour over that I had when I visited the store was way better than this one. It's way better than what I did here today. And again, nothing offensive. There's nothing negative about this cup of coffee. It's just not a lot of the goodness. I would say it's all good, but just not enough of it. So if I'm able to pull more flavor out of this coffee, I expect then maybe I'll get that greatness that I'm looking for. I think I maybe can do that with the AeroPress. I mean, the way it brewed on the Steadfast, it was already very well extracted, and it was a long, like really long brew time. So the next step, it has to be the AeroPress. It always dirties things up a little bit for me. I can let it steep for like 5 minutes and really pull everything out of the beans, and then sometimes it gets there, you know, like it happened with the Square Mile coffee, and with Jay's secret coffee that he sent. If you don't, I mean, most of the people watching me by now, you know who Jay is. Jay Carragher from Ono Coffee. Again, Spro Coffee is his brand. Support Jay. Buy some coffee from him, please, and subscribe to his channel. All that good stuff. All right, let's move on with the show. I'm gonna first finish enjoying the rest of this pour over, which again, there's nothing negative. It's all good, but I just need more of the goodness. We'll try again for espresso. Again, we'll try again. These beans were spectacular, man. I mean, first of all, the pour over was great. The one this morning was even better, and the best one I've gotten so far from these beans. I ground, just so that you can kind of put things into perspective, I just did the grind size 60 for this coffee on the Duo. And this one, this morning, I did 35. That is like way finer, okay? And I still got a 3-minute brew time on the April. So that goes to show you the difference between, and it was more coffee because I did 20 grams. This was a smaller, what a difference, huge difference. But again, if I would have done something like this with this, it probably wouldn't taste like anything. I would just be tasting a little bit of the acidity probably, and that's it. You know, I don't know, who knows? I'll report back. We're gonna do espresso with this. Give me a minute, let me finish that, and I'll see you guys in a second to do some puck prep. All right, so I had forgotten to turn on the espresso machine, but now we are up to temperature and ready to roll, and I'm ready for my espresso. All right, so I told you guys I had adjusted the niche 0 down to 13. You know, in my experience, usually you gotta go a little bit finer as time passes once you open the bag of beans. Now, we'll see what happens today. I mean, it doesn't always hold true. Plus, if I end up extending the shot time by maybe 5 seconds or so, I wouldn't be upset with that. So let's see. Last time we were right around 50 seconds. Today, maybe we end up at 55, maybe even a minute long shot. I'd be perfectly okay with that. Okay, and again, that's for one of those long, what most people call Slayer shots, but you know, long blooming or whatever you want to call it. So we will be pre-infusing for the shot for like 25, maybe even 30 seconds, and then ramp it up to 9 bars until we get our desired yield. So, all right, let's dose out 18 grams. Okay, we're between 17.9 and 18. Maybe I'll put this small bean in there. All right, now we're between 18 and 18.1. Let's go with that. Again, this Kenyan coffee from Hinterhof has been so like wonderful. Man, what a great coffee. And you know, I was thinking about the BigFace Coffee. Maybe part of the thing was that, you know, I was expecting, you know, because of the look of the product, the roast level of the beans, the fragrance that I first got from the coffee, everything was like building up to your expectations, you know, and then I was a little bit underwhelmed. So we'll see. I'll brew that again. Again, I think I'm gonna make it on the AeroPress, and I'll report back to you guys, and maybe I can extract more flavor. It gets better, because there was nothing like, nothing wrong with it. It was just, you know, fine. It has the signs of greatness, but it has to be brought out. Okay, it wasn't all there. It was just not a lot. So, okay, so we're at 18, between 18 and 18.1. Let's grind this on the 0 and see what we get out. Okay, let me bring you guys over here so you can look at the roast level again. There you see it. Put this in place. Okay, let me see. Yeah, there you see the roast level. So a medium light. This is a true medium light. Here, the beans are fighting. Last time it was the same thing. These beans don't want to fall through. Okay, I always start it one more time, make sure everything went through. Tap the spout like my friend Angel says. Let's see if we got our 18. All right, we had a tiny little bit of retention. Usually I don't care about 0.2, 0.3, but lately, since I've had the little bellows, I've been using it. It's over here. Again, on this one, I always use it. On the dual, usually I always use it. I just keep it up there. On the zero, sometimes there's no retention at all. Let's see. Let's see if we're back to 18. There you go. Definitely that little bellows, man. I love it. From Gemini Coffee Tools. Check them out on their Amazon page. All right, let's do some pug prep. Okay, so we usually start by just fluffing it up. Make sure it's nicely declumped. Get the scale out of the way. Make sure my focus is locked. Oh, before I forget, let's try this whole thing about the puck screen. Let's see if we can figure this out. Give me a second. Okay, I was trying to find something to put the phone on top of, but I think I'm gonna have to hand hold it because I think this is what the person meant. That they usually rinse the puck screen. Now I told them on the comments that I rinse my puck screen in the sink because it's right next to me. But I do use this sometimes to warm up the puck screen, and I've never noticed it like being a problem. But let's take a look. Let's see. This is the hot water spout. So sometimes I will do that to like warm it up. And I think what he means is that the little bit of water that collects here. Okay, that's what I thought he meant. And that is what I'm seeing. There is no mess or no water spilled out anywhere, but there is a little bit of water that collects here on the lip of the drip tray. But you know, to me, that's not a big deal because I always take this off when I finish brewing and I take it over to the sink, I rinse it, then I dry everything up. So that to me would be a non-issue. If that's what you meant, you know, yeah, I mean, it's not ideal, but you know, I don't know what to tell you. I guess that cannot be avoided. Now, a lot of times what I do is the following. Let me show you. Again, I have to put the phone down. I don't think I can do this. Like, this is a little bit difficult, but I couldn't find something to put this on. But I'll take my, this is after I already pulled a shot. Today I haven't pulled a shot, so I normally don't do this. But after I pull a shot, I usually will take, sometimes I will take the puck screen, put it in here. Usually I just lock it in and then run the machine a little bit. But sometimes I do use the hot water spout to heat it up, get it back up to temperature. Okay, and then I will lock it in here. I lock it in and I usually will run the machine a little bit so everything is nice and flushed and up to temperature. So that's usually what I do. I leave it in there until I'm ready to pour my next shot and I dry it. Now, one thing I am noticing that I didn't see it at first, but I guess there is a little bit of water here. So there is a little bit of water mess. I don't know if I can, by doing it, I mean, you know, this is not something that that I normally do. So maybe that's what you meant. I'm not sure. But yeah, I guess, you know, the water spout is close to the edge. So when you run it, if you run it in that way, you know, a little bit of water could catch on here and maybe could even spill over as we just saw. So yeah, could be a little bit of an issue. Sorry, buddy. My machine does the same thing, I guess. There you see it. All right, let's finish with this puck prep. You know, it's kind of cool that, you know, a lot of us here on the channel are on the same machine. We're on the Bianca, and you know, a lot of people watch and they're on a different kind of machine, and Some things are in common. Like I know Kerry has a E61 style espresso machine. I think I don't remember if it's an ECM or could be an ECM, but also has the flow control and it's a really nice high-end machine. So a lot of the things are in common, right? Because E61 flow control, same thing if you have it on an ECM or whatever other kind of machine. So, but it's kind of cool that we can help each other and answer questions and go back and forth with that. So normally when I pull more than one shot, this would be my process to get ready for the second shot. But that's after I rinse everything in the sink. So I never have a mess of like grounds or anything inside the drip tray because again, or very little, because I do run it and maybe a little bit comes out, but I always clean everything over the sink. Okay, so everything's nice and dry. Okay, nice and flush. All right, let me fix the angle and we'll do WDT. I know a few of you guys out there are doing the blind shaking and you know, it's not something that I'm on board with. I tried it, I didn't enjoy it at all. But man, everybody's, you know, their own world, you know, everybody's got different things they enjoy, different workflows. Everyone's different, man. So if you're enjoying the blind shaking, go for it. The main thing is that you're enjoying your process. If in addition to that, you see some benefits from it and you're getting some benefits for your final outcome, you know, that's all even better, you know. But the main thing is that you're enjoying the process. And wow, I gotta say, man, I did not enjoy doing the blind shaking. It was not fun. And then I felt like I had to do WDT anyway, because every time I would put the grounds in, it would just land like however, you know, there's you know, things just land wherever they want to land, you know. I couldn't control it, I guess. Okay, so let's tamp. Again, maybe we should use Pasado. We haven't used Pasado in a while. Pasado! Let's bring Pasado out today. All right, Pasado. You guys know with this one I struggle. And yes, guys, I know, let me always, when I talk about this, talk about the self-leveling tamper. I know I could do that, but oh man, I like to practice. Oh, you know what? Today I tamped like my normal way. I forgot to do that, the whole Italian way of tamping. We tried it last time and it seemed to work as far as the pressure and everything. It seemed to work just fine. But we did get a little bit of channeling and I wondered if it was because of the way I tamped, you know. I wanted to try it again today, but I forgot. I went back to my old methods. So we'll have to roll with this. Oh man. Yeah, that was on the very last video. So, you know, Italians, on that video, I was talking about my friend. He's Italian and he tamped just barely, you know, barely pressed it down. He's done, you know. And I know that some people, they tamp very lightly like that. And it seemed to build the same pressure and it worked just the same. But one thing that did happen was that that we had a tiny little bit of channeling, which is very unusual. We almost never get any visual channeling here, especially on those long Slayer shots when it's a really fast, gushing out kind of soupy shot. If the times I've gotten channeling has always been on those kind of shots. But anyway, we'll try it next time. If I remember, next time we'll try to tamp lightly again and see if we get some more channeling, and then we can start narrowing that down. And maybe if you tamp very lightly, you tend to have channeling. So we'll see. All right, let's lock this in. Let me dry it up. Okay, being that I just ran it, I think we're good. Let me lock it in and pull the shot. All right, man, so here we go. Let's get the Akaya up here. Again, we're gonna use the shot glass from Not Neutral. All right, and here we go. Let's see if we're gonna shoot for the 1 minute long Slayer shot. Start with the paddle at 5 o'clock. When it starts to build pressure, we'll close it up and leave it somewhere around 2.5. Again, you don't want to get more than perhaps 2 grams in the cup. And this is working out perfectly. Okay, so we're just over 2 grams. I'm gonna ramp up right around 25 seconds. Pretty much the same thing we did last time. Get it to 9 bar, here we are. Well, the stream hasn't come together today. Not liking that. It's gonna be an ugly looking shot from the bottom, I'm pretty sure. It's brewing just fine though, and the timing looks perfect. So 45 grams out. Okay, I ended up 45.7, 56 seconds overall. So, you know, 1 notch finer, and it slowed down by about 5 seconds. That's what's to be expected. This brewed exactly what you should expect. So 45 seconds since first drip, 56 seconds overall. You know, it's what's to be expected. Let me get my scale out of the way and stop one of the cameras. Okay, so any signs of channeling today? You know, man, I'm surprised how that was, the stream like never seemed to come together. A little bit odd, and this coffee is very lightly roasted, so, well, it's not really, it's like a medium light, and I don't know. There is perhaps a little bit of splashing that happened. That always happens. There is no signs of channeling today whatsoever. Can use my nice little spoons that Anna gave me. Shout out to Anna. All right, let's see if we achieved the same level of greatness that we had last time with this coffee. So let me show it to you guys. Right there, you should get a good look at the crema. Again, it's not, you know, these lighter roast coffees, they just don't never end up looking great, you know? So I wasn't expecting it to look great, but I am expecting it to taste great, because I remember what I had last time and it was mind-blowing. So let's try it. Man, that's why those like perfect shots are like 1 in a million. Today, you know, the tartness is just, there's more acidity than I would like. More tartness and acidity, not as sweet as last time. The balance is not perfect. And it brewed longer, so maybe I should brew it faster. Maybe this is one of those coffees that gets sweeter with a faster extraction. Usually, in my experience, that's not the case. There's more like tartness, acidity, and then the longer you go, they become sweeter, and then eventually they'll get bitter if you over extract it. This is nowhere near over extracted. There's no bitterness, but the acidity is a bit high, and it's not being balanced perfectly well with the sweetness like last time. Still, if you wanna, you know, now that I allowed it to cool just a little bit, it already got a little bit better. There's a little bit less edgy up front, you know? So, wow, I would absolutely drink this shot. This last time was like, wow, it was really good. It was a 9.5 out of 10. Today, it went down to like 8.5 out of 10. It's still a great shot. I would absolutely drink it just like this. But today, I really was looking forward to making a cortado. So I'm gonna put it over to one of my little cortado cups from Not Neutral. I didn't brew into it because if I would have gotten the perfect shot like last time, which I wasn't expecting to, maybe I would have just drank the whole shot. And the extraction looks better if you brew into this cup than this one, because, you know, this one's kind of tinted and you can't see the shot as well as you can with this, with the shot glass. So, but yeah, this is, I love these cups. These have become like my favorite ones. I gotta say, I fell in love with these glasses. All right, let me steam some milk and put the cortado together. All right, so I just remembered somebody left me a comment last time, and you know, they're right, man. I hate it when it happens that I put the camera in an angle where the camera blocks, the steam one blocks the shot timer on the machine. I hate it when that happens, when I'm pulling the shot and you can't really see the time because this is blocking it. I try to always avoid that, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Today, I think I remembered and I pushed it out of the way so you could clearly see the timer. Usually, I do a good job about that, but every now and then, it's an oversight. So, all right, let's see if I can steam some milk today and do a good job with the latte art. Who knows? Well, a good job for me, at least, because no matter what, it's not gonna be that good. All right, let me show you guys. Again, not great, but I wouldn't be totally disappointed with that. Yeah, you know, it's coming along. I love the way these little cups look when you make the cortado. And again, I wouldn't be totally disappointed with this little heart if I was given this at some coffee shop somewhere. All right, let me give it a taste and tell you guys how it is. It's tasty. Maybe some of you guys, I don't know, maybe some of you guys would really like it this way. For me, the acidity that's in the coffee, it's a little bit high for me. So yeah, that kind of comes out in the milk drink, and you can see that. Sometimes if the shot is more balanced and sweeter, sometimes it has worked. But usually for me, you guys know I don't need acidity in my milk drinks. Is something that I really appreciate on a straight espresso shot, but on a milk drink, it's not needed for me. However, for some of you guys, you might think that this is lovely. Yeah, it's good. It's good. This is, again, for some of you guys, it might be perfect like this. I don't know. I usually like a little bit more chocolate, more traditional flavor in the espresso when I mix it with milk. But some of you guys really appreciate the higher acidity, higher brightness kind of espresso even when you make milk drinks. And, hey, to each their own. It is tasty. All right, overall, no matter what, the espresso was better last time. The pour over was way better last time. So, hey, what are you gonna do? It's still great. And I had a good time sharing here with you guys. Last time I said I was gonna talk a little bit about Kentucky towards the end of the video. I don't wanna have to set up the other camera, but let's summarize a little bit about Kentucky. And then I'll show you guys a few pictures here on the screen. But like I said on the last video, Kentucky really surprised me with the food. So I wasn't expecting a lot from the food. But we ate at the hotel a couple of times, at the bar. And the guy that took care of us, the bartender, was, wow, he was unbelievable. This guy was awesome. And he even remembered, he must serve like, I don't know, 100 people every night, And he remembered what I had like a previous couple, that had been like a couple nights previous, and he remembered what I ate, he remembered what I like drinking. This guy was next level, I ordered an old-fashioned both times with him at the bar, and it was just spectacular, spectacular. I think one time I had it with Maker's Mark, and the other time, well, I don't know if it was Buffalo Trace or I can't recall, but they were both times was like just next level. The hotel is called The Distill, okay? And it's right on the beginning of Bourbon Row in downtown. And wow, it could not have been a better location or a better hotel. The experience was just next level. It was super good. The food at the bar, which by the way, that's called I think it's called the Repeal. I'll put out, you guys will see it here in the pictures, but the Repeal Steakhouse. And wow, I mean, the food was great. My wife had like a lobster pasta meal that was just awesome. I ordered the burger both times because he told me, hey, the burger, because I said, you know what, I want something simple. That was the first time. The first time I tell him, I want something simple. I want like a good burger. He goes, man, I could do that. It's not, and I said, but it's not on the menu. And he's like, don't worry about it. We got a great burger. And man, he made it happen. It was spectacular. And the big like wedge potato fries that he brought me were just next level. I mean, it was awesome. I liked it so much that I had it twice. My wife had the lobster and the pasta meal. And the second time, I'll have to ask her. I don't remember. If she recalls, I'll put it here on the screen. If she has a picture of this, whatever the second meal was, I'll put it here on the screen. But we had a great time. We had a great time at the hotel and a great time at the bar. And like I said, the location was perfect. It's right on the beginning of Bourbon Row there in downtown. We went to, like I mentioned on the last video, we visited quite a few different distilleries and really, really enjoyed it. What else? Oh, the food also at the Brown Hotel. Okay, the hotel. Man, maybe I should set up the other camera because you guys are not seeing me. This is okay. Let me hold on. Let me set up the other camera and we'll keep the conversation going. I'll finish my cortado. My cortado's lonely over here, and you guys are okay. Let me set it up. Hold on. All right. I figured it was gonna get a little bit boring. You guys just staring at the glass for like. But I know a lot of you guys just have me there talking in the background. You're not even probably like looking at the video. So I thought maybe it wouldn't matter. But for those of you that like watching throughout the whole thing, it's gonna get boring. So let's come back to this counter and keep going with the story. Because now I got inspired telling you about Kentucky. So we'll keep going with this whole thing. So, all right, so the food at the hotel, excellent. Then we also went to eat at a hotel in downtown that's called The Brown, and they have like an open face sandwich that they've had for many years. Some famous people have been in there to try it, and it's become a thing. So I think it's called the Big Brown. I'll put it here on the screen. I think that's what it's called, and it's a nice big open face turkey sandwich that's smothered in cheese and it had bacon, and it was delicious. I gotta say, it was delicious. Okay, I could see why it's been a thing at that hotel for so many years, because it's delicious. I believe this night, I ordered a beer, an IPA that was just great. And I don't remember, I might have had 2 drinks. I might have had also an old fashioned. I was having old fashions like every night with bourbon as a proper Kentuckian would do. Is that a word? So the food at the Brown was excellent. We had like a mac and cheese appetizer that was like super good. But yeah, the Brown, very fancy, very like old fashioned, like just great, man. It was great atmosphere. They were playing live music. Wow, just spectacular, a great time. Also, something cool, they give you free valet when you're going to the restaurant. I think you get like a free parking, free valet for like 2 hours, which is more than enough time to go and have a dinner. So, very nice experience at that hotel as well. Yeah, let me have another little bit of my cortado, and then we'll keep going. Yeah, again, a little bit more of the brightness, a little bit more of the acidity than I normally would like on a milk drink, but still very good. And there's no sugar or anything in this one either. It's just the milk, and it's sweet enough too. So another thing, surprising thing about the food in Kentucky was the whole situation with the almond croissants. So maybe if, I don't know, Carrie, have you had a lot of almond croissants in your area? Are they awesome? Because we found them to be like the best we've ever had. You know, here in Miami, when we get an almond croissant, it's always kind of like dry. It doesn't have a lot of the cream that goes in an almond croissant like you expect it to be. Well, let me just show you the picture and take a look at this thing. Okay, that was at a coffee shop. It's kind of like a chain kind of coffee shops. The coffee wasn't, you know, it wasn't great. It was fine, you know, but it wasn't great. The best coffee I had was the one at Hinterhof. That was the best one. This was just like a chain, but you know, you get a milk drink and it's fine. And the almond croissant, oh my God, that was the best one. And we had it at a couple of two coffee shops. The other one, I'll try to put a picture right here. And this coffee shop, we had the almond croissant and it was almost as good, but the one at that, what was it called? The Haynes or Haney, or I don't know. You guys saw the picture here. So that one was like, oh my God, that one was just mind blowing. But the second one that we ordered at the other coffee shop, that was spectacular as well. We also, you know, Louisville is, if you cross the river, you're actually crossing into another state. Okay, so you cross the river and you are in Indiana. So we crossed once just to say, hey, I've been to Indiana, because that's one of the states we're still missing. But we crossed over and went to a coffee shop there. I'll include a couple of pictures here so you can see what that one was like. You know, the coffee, again, this one, you know, it was okay. It was a milk drink, it was fine. And on this one, I don't think I had I don't even know if they had the almond croissants. I think I had a cookie. It was fine. It was fine. It was a fine experience. And we crossed over to Indiana, took a few pictures. That was right before heading back to the airport, and the vacation was pretty much over. If you guys recall on the previous video, and the little opening cinematic sequence, maybe I'll include that once again here at the end of this video, just so you guys could see that again. But there's a little pink house that comes out on that cinematic sequence, and that house is the home where Muhammad Ali grew up in. He wasn't born there, but he grew up there. His school years, he went to, you know, his school years, he lived in that little house there, and now it's a historical you know, home, and I believe they run it as a museum. When we went early in the morning and it was closed, but we did take some pictures, and I grabbed a clip for you guys. Maybe I'll include it here.
For those of you that are or may be big fans of Muhammad Ali, this is his childhood home where he grew up, the little pink one there. Again, we woke up to this beautiful white morning. Muhammad Ali's home. Pretty interesting. The Clay family.
Okay, so yeah, that's something else you can visit. There's also a museum dedicated to Muhammad Ali. We didn't have time to do that one, but it's there in downtown Louisville. Another historical place that we visited was the birthplace of Abraham Lincoln. But when we went, you know, it was on Thanksgiving Day, and it was closed. So we didn't even know it was closed. We drove to it, and at least we took a picture. I'll put it here. We took a picture at the sign. After that, we headed back to the hotel and saw a little bit of downtown, and experienced our first meal there. And it was great, man. We had a great time. Again, Louisville, we would gladly go back and visit once again. But yeah, it's a good time, good time. So yeah, I'm going to wrap things up here. You know, recently, the last video I edited, I don't know how many weeks ago you guys saw it. Maybe it was, I don't know. I don't remember, but maybe it was even the last video. I don't remember. But I know I edited a video recently that ended up at 1 hour and 10 minutes. And I think today's video is gonna beat that. Man, my videos are just getting like, maybe I'll split this one. Who knows? Maybe this one ends up being split up. If I split it, then check out last week's video, but to get the full picture of this today's brew session. But I know I've been recording for quite a while. I enjoyed my cortado. I enjoyed my pour over. You know, not as good as last week. Man, last week was just, wow, what a way to kick off 2025. All right, let's finish this. You know, I said cool, they got better. Like a little bit of more sweetness and less on the acidity and the tartness up front. Yeah, tasty. All right, sad to see you go, buddy. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap things up. This video is gonna end up maybe breaking all records unless I split it up. But thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys a whole bunch. Remember to leave me a comment. If you don't want me to use your name or YouTube handle on the videos, please let me know. Other than that, I like, you know, shouting out to you guys and saying hello, and I like calling you by your name. It's, you know, the only thing I get out of making these videos is getting to know some of you guys. And you know, I've met people like Jay and Hoon, and it's you know, it's what makes it fun for me. The fact that I get to know you guys a little bit, at least if it's only through our interactions here on YouTube, but it's still fun. It's what makes it fun for me, and it's the reason why I keep making these videos. So remember to drop in and say hello, at least leave me a little emoji like John always does. Shout out to John. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you a whole bunch. Please remember to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. All right, Carrie, the car says 27 degrees outside. It's not a good day to let Sassy out, so keep Sassy indoors.
You call, I fall. There's a legacy between us. We grow, we go.